morning, beloveds. I'm watching the cat be a little weird. But when is my cat not being a little weird? Because, I have 6 of them, and at any one time, one of them's going to be weird. Cats are weird. Okay, it is May 12th. I think the camera is crooked, but there doesn't seem to be anything I can do about it, so that's okay. All right, it is May 12th. Our title is The Power in Silence. Our first quote is, "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy God which is in secret, and thy God which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." Matthew 6:6. Our prayers are made to God in the secret place of our own being. They are not to be shouted aloud for the ears of people. The soul must enter the secret place naked alone. This is how the one returns to the one. And that is Science of Mind, page 431. When we share a new idea with another person, we risk discouragement that may result from a negative reaction. Unless our belief in this idea is strong, such a dash of cold water may be enough to put out its fire. All of us need to become self-motivated. When we depend too much upon other people for encouragement, we may feel lost if they move out of our lives. We need to learn to act without approval or endorsement from others, allowing a small spark of conception to grow into a large flame of accomplishment. The master teacher, Jesus Christ, taught us to turn within, shut the door on the outside appearances, and communicate directly with our heavenly spirit. Listening to the silence and opening ourselves to divine guidance, we discover a power that is always available to us. Then, as we draw upon that power, wonderful events take place in our lives. I accept God as my partner in all things. I turn within for guidance, listening for the answer which always comes. I trust my intuition and know that I am being directed right now towards a higher good. Okay, and that is SB. I'm not sure who SB is, so I'm going to look it up really quick. And then take too long to find it because, well, Shirley Briggs. Okay, Shirley Briggs. I still haven't figured out. I think they have them in alphabetical order by last name, and I was looking under first name. And because I'm kind of avoiding this topic, the power of silence, simply because there have been a number of times, and you'll notice that oftentimes it's people who love you the most that you really need to be quiet around. There was a brief time when I considered social work. There were a couple other things that I considered, and anytime I would mention it to either of my parents would immediately go, "No, you don't want to do that." And so when I finally did go to ministerial school, I didn't tell either one of my parents. I believe I was halfway through ministerial school before I told either one of my parents that I was in ministerial school. And a large part of my family didn't find out until I was graduating from ministerial school. And I learned early on to play my cards close to my chest when I was doing things, because of that splash of cold water. Because they would tell me, "Oh, no, you don't want to do that." Rarely did anybody tell me you can't do that. And I freely admit that and I will say as a girl, there were a lot of times when people would say, "Well, you can't do that because you're a girl." And I'm like, "Watch me. I'm definitely that self-motivated. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to prove you wrong." That is who I am. But there are other things, like I said, when I went to ministerial school, I didn't tell anybody. I discussed it with my partner, and obviously I told my senior minister and a couple of my practitioner friends, but for the most part, I didn't tell anybody. Now, obviously, once I got into ministerial school, then I couldn't hide it from my center because there were things that I had to do, a lot of my internships. But I didn't. And sometimes being quiet can get me into trouble. It's like, I don't tell people, I don't share enough, with whatever is going on with currently with my medical situation. I've been really quiet about it. I didn't realize that I hadn't told my senior minister that I was going to have eye surgery. And he went, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I should have told you that." And so you got to find that balance between, what you share, what you don't share, and who you share with. Obviously, if you've got people in your life that it's not safe to share stuff with for that splash of cold water, then you don't share with them. But the other point of this is, the one that you're always going to share it with. You're always going to share it with Spirit. You're always going to, and because that is going to always be the one safe place. So they talk about going into the closet, and they talk about going naked and alone. And when I say they, it's because I'm using what Shirley Briggs said, what Matthew said, and then what Ernest said in The Science of Mind. You go naked alone into the closet you go to be alone with Spirit. You go to be alone with Spirit. Because sometimes that's where we start. We start with this idea, and we go to Spirit and we go, "Okay, I got this idea. I hear you. Now I need your help to do this." And then the amazing thing is that Spirit will respond. And as long as you are open to seeing them, you will start to see the resources to do whatever it is that you want to do. And then you can also gradually bring into confidence the people that will assist you. And you can use Spirit's guidance for that. And that's one of those things. It's like, you do need to tell people. If you want assistance, you do need to tell people. And you can use Spirit's guidance to figure out who is safe to tell. Because the last thing any of us want is that splash of cold water. Because it's interesting. I mean, when you think of how different your life could have been if you had either not told someone a plan, or if you had told someone a plan. And so so the first place to go is Spirit, and let Spirit help guide who is your resource and who is not. I don't know what's going on with Foster right now. So, so let's go back. Okay, so let's take a second look at the power of silence. If I can do it with Foster's interference here. Okay. Because with Matthew, it's Matthew 6:6. "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy God, which is in secret, and thy God, which seeth in secret, shall reward thee openly." Oh, the language. So there's another one further somewhere else where it talks about the difference between praying out loud and praying silently to yourself. Because when you're praying silently to yourself, you are communing directly with your source. And when you are praying out loud, your source can hear it, but so can everybody else. And a lot of the times, it doesn't have the same emotional impact when you're playing out loud, because you're doing it for show. Unless someone has asked you to pray for them and you are praying out loud. Honestly, a lot of the times, both Emma and Ernest, even when they were working with clients, did not pray out loud. They treated themselves silently inside. We do it out loud, mostly for the comfort of the person we are treating for. Because it'll work just as well quietly. Okay, so then if you go back, so that was Matthew 6:6, and then you go back and read the second one. "Our prayers are to be made to God in the secret place of our own being." So Matthew's talking about entering our closet, and Ernest is going, you're going to enter your closet, but the closet's within you. go to that secret place within you. They are not to be shouted aloud for the ears of people. The soul must enter the secret place naked and alone. This is how the one returns to the one. So in both passages, they are talking about when you treat, when you pray, you are going within. You are going within because you are going to the source of your own being. And that is within. That secret place of the Most High, that place where, what I like to say is the place where you meet the unfiltered God, where you are meeting the God that has nothing to do with what society and culture and religion tells you. So, when we share a new idea with another person, we risk disappointment or discouragement that may result from a negative reaction. Unless our belief in this idea is strong, such a dash of cold water may be enough to put out its fire. And that's what I'm talking about. When you say, hey, I want to do this, and somebody looks at you and goes, you can't do that. Or I don't think you should do that. Unless you really believe in yourself, that may be enough to turn you off the path. I know, I've experienced it. But I've also experienced the other where somebody says, well, you can't do that because you're a girl. And I'm like, watch me. So it depends on the situation. It also does depend on the person. It does depend on the person. So, and now I am not a parent, but I had parents. And the number of times my parents looked at me and went, I don't think you should do that. Oh, yeah. There's got to be a better way to do that. All of us need to become self-motivated. When we depend too much upon other people for encouragement, we may feel lost if they move out of our life. Yep. Yeah. Self-motivated is a good way to be. The encouragement of other people is important, but it will never be more important than your own encouragement. We need to learn to act without approval or endorsement from others, allowing a small spark of conception to grow into a large flame of accomplishment. Yeah. To act without approval or endorsement. It's like, I don't need anybody's permission or, to do what I'm going to do. It's nice, but it's not necessary. The master teacher, Jesus Christ, taught us to turn within, shut the door on outside appearances, which is why I'm talking about that unfiltered God, and communicate directly with our Heavenly Spirit. Listening in the silence and opening ourselves to divine guidance, we discover a power that is always available to us. Then, as we draw upon that power, wonderful events take place in our life. Because Matthew said, what you pray for in secret, often God will reward you in public. So, and I say that because 10 years ago when I decided to go to ministerial school, and now I'm going to have a very public ordination ceremony. I accept God as my partner in all things. I turn within for guidance, listening for the answers which always come. They may not look like what we expect them to. They may not be the answer we are expecting, but we always get answers when we are listening. I trust my intuition and know that I am being directed right now towards a higher good. So that is Shirley. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it? Wow, I don't even know. I mean, the power of silence. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to turn within. To turn within to that unfiltered God, the source of our own being. And tell it all our secrets. All of our hopes, our dreams, our desires, our wants, and our needs. And then listen for the guidance that will get us where we want to be. It's not a small mission. But if you cannot trust the source of your own being with all of your secrets, you might want to work on that relationship. All right. Okay. I'm going to encourage you, as I always do, into the loving, kind, compassionate spiritual practice. Do that loving, kind, compassionate thing for yourself, whatever it looks like, and that may be to go to that place within and tell them all your secrets. It's like, what in your heart of hearts have you not even told God? Other than that, you know all the usual ones. Whatever you do, like, enjoy that cup of coffee or tea. Like, use all of your senses. Take 3 deep breaths, take a nap, take a walk, doesn't matter. Point is, practice every day. You deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. It's also about creating that first response, that default setting, the habit. All right, beloveds. I'm also going to encourage you, as I always do something to engage your mind and your body. Go get that bright light early in your day. Drink plenty of water. And always open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us. And one of the easiest ways to find it is to look for the good and praise it. And share it. Try sharing it. I know we were talking about the power of silence, but it's always a good thing to share silence. So, no ma'am. No ma'am. Rita's in here and she was about to make a play for Hayes, and she likes to lick his ears, which is where he gets medication. So, no ma'am. All right. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, an amazing day, a fantastic day, an enchanting day, a magical day. A Thursday. Well, this year. If you're watching this some other year, have whatever day of the week it is. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is both well pleased and well represented. All right, beloveds. I'm going to move into the process of my day. If you want to know what's going on, because there's a fair bit coming up in the next 2-3 weeks. We've got an ordination. We've got a mobile food event. We've got a guest musician. There are always book studies going on. So email info@creativelife.org to find out all that information. And get on our constant contact. We are all over the social medias. So we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan. So feel free to check out all those social medias for the inspiring content that they have. For sure on the YouTube. So, all right. I'm just a goofball today. I'm a goofball every day, though. So, this is who I am. Are you going to come over here and say hi? Nope. So, take care of yourself. Know that you're loved. Know that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you today. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Until next time, know that you're loved.